Hello everyone, this video is about completing the square method for quadratic equations and why it works. So let's just jump right into it. Let's suppose I have the quadratic equation x squared plus 6x minus 7 is equal to 0. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 7 on both sides. That cancels one side and we get x squared plus 6x equals 7. Now, I like to think of geometry or algebra in terms of shapes. So, for example, this x squared right here can be represented by a square with the side length x, and the area of the square is going to be x squared. Similarly, for 6x, we can turn this into a rectangle with side length 6 and width x. So, the area of this rectangle is going to be 6x. Now here's the cool part. I can split this rectangle into two equal rectangles with side lengths 3 and 3. So I can rearrange this entire thing so that it looks something like this, with both sides of the quote-unquote square being x plus 3 and x plus 3. Now you can see that there's one part missing in this square. So of course, the area of those two rectangles are going to be 3x, which both add up to 6x, so it's all equal so far. And we can say that all of this is equal to 7. Now again, you can notice that there's a section in there that's missing from completing our square. And that's going to be represented by this purple region right here. Now, the length of these are going to be 3 and 3, which means the area of this purple square is going to be 9. So now that since we added 9 to our diagram, we also need to add 9 to our equation. So we get that the entire thing here is equal to 16. Now, the entirety of this square, this whole square, area is going to be x plus 3 times x plus 3. So we can say that x plus 3 times x plus 3 is equal to 16. So x plus 3 squared is equal to 16. And if we take the square root of both sides, we end up with x plus 3 is equal to plus or minus 4. Now, I can split this up into x plus 3 equals plus 4 and x plus 3 equals minus 4 and solve them on their own. And we end up getting that x is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 7. So that's the entirety of the completing the square method. And this is the reason why it's called completing the square. You're putting another square, you're completing the whole square by putting another square in there. That's why we always say divide by 2 and then square that number and add it to both sides. That's the reason for this. We're literally completing the square in terms of geometry.